You know that moment when you're introducing an old friend to someone, and suddenly, your mind goes blank? Their name just slips away. Or maybe you're at the grocery store, and you see a neighbor you've known for years, but for the life of you, their name won't come to you. If that's ever happened to you, you're not alone. In fact, it's incredibly common after 60. But here's the good news. Forgetting names doesn't have to be something you just accept as part of getting older. There are simple, practical ways to keep your memory sharp and hold on to those names with confidence. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Oh, it's just age. What can I do about it? But here's the thing. Your brain is capable of incredible things at any age. It's all about giving it the right tools and habits. So today, we're going to walk through some of the best, research-backed ways to help you remember names more easily. And don't worry, none of this is complicated. These are small, everyday changes that can make a big difference. Let's start with something you might not expect, slowing down. One of the biggest reasons we forget names isn't because our memory is failing, but because we're not really paying attention in the first place. Think about it. How often do you meet someone new, and in that very first moment, you're already thinking about what you're going to say next? Or maybe you're distracted by background noise, or just eager to move on to the next thing. When that happens, the name doesn't really stick. So here's a simple trick. The next time someone introduces themselves, pause for just a second. Look at them, really listen, and repeat their name back to them. Nice to meet you, Linda. That tiny moment of focus helps lock the name into your memory. And if you want to take it a step further, try connecting their name to something familiar. Maybe Linda has a warm smile like your sister Linda, or maybe she's wearing a bright blue shirt, and you think, blue like the sky. No, Linda. Sounds silly, but those little mental connections work wonders. Now, the second thing that can make a huge difference is association. Our brains love linking new information to things we already know. So when you meet someone named, say, Bob, try picturing him with a bob haircut, even if he doesn't have one. Or if you meet a Rose, imagine her holding a bouquet of roses. The more vivid the image, the better. It might feel strange at first, but the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. And here's something else to consider. Stress and fatigue play a bigger role in memory lapses than we realize. When you're tired or stressed, your brain doesn't store information as well. That's why sometimes, names slip away when you're feeling overwhelmed. So if you've had a long day and you're meeting new people, give yourself a little grace. It's okay to say, "Tell me your name again." Because the truth is, people don't mind repeating themselves. What matters is that you're making the effort to remember. Now, before we move on, let me ask you, have you ever tried any of these tricks before? Maybe without even realizing it. I'd love to hear your experiences in the comments. And if this is all new to you, don't worry, we're just getting started. Because next, we're going to talk about how the words you use can actually train your brain to remember better. So stay with me, you won't want to miss this. You know, sometimes the way we talk to ourselves about memory can actually make a bigger difference than we realize. Have you ever caught yourself saying, "Oh, I'm terrible with names," or "My memory just isn't what it used to be"? Here's the thing, our brains listen to what we tell them. If we keep saying we're bad at remembering names, our brain starts to believe it. But what if we flip that script? Instead of focusing on what we can't do, let's start reinforcing what we can. This brings us to our next point, the power of positive reinforcement. Instead of saying, "I always forget names," try something like, "I'm getting better at remembering names every day." It might feel a little strange at first, but over time, this small shift in language can actually rewire your brain to be more confident in your memory. Think of it like training a muscle. The more you use it with intention, the stronger it gets. Now, let's talk about another game changer, repetition. When you meet someone new, don't just hear their name once and hope for the best. Find ways to use their name naturally in conversation. For example, if you meet someone named George, you might say, "So, George, how long have you lived in this neighborhood?" Or, "George, that's a great point." Using their name a few times in the first few minutes helps cement it in your mind. And if you're worried about overdoing it, don't be. Most people love hearing their own name. It makes them feel seen and valued, so it's a win-win. Here's another trick that works like magic, writing names down. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but I'm not going to carry a notebook everywhere. And you don't have to. If you're at a social event or a family gathering, take a quick mental note of the names you want to remember, and then jot them down as soon as you get home. You could even keep a little name journal by your bedside or in your bag. The act of writing something down signals to your brain that this information is important, making it easier to recall later. Now, let's talk about something that might surprise you: the connection between physical health and memory. Did you know that staying hydrated can actually help with name recall? It's true. When we're even slightly dehydrated, our brain function can slow down, making it harder to remember things. So, if you're heading to an event where you'll be meeting new people, drink a glass of water beforehand. And while we're on the topic of health, let's not forget about sleep. A well-rested brain is a sharp brain. If you've ever noticed that names slip away more easily when you're tired, that's why. One more thing, practice makes progress. You don't have to be perfect at remembering names overnight. Start small. Challenge yourself to remember one new name each day, whether it's the cashier at the grocery store or a new neighbor. Celebrate the little victories. Over time, you'll build confidence, and what once felt frustrating will start to feel effortless. Now, I've got a question for you. Have you ever used a trick like repeating a name or writing it down and been surprised by how well it worked? I'd love to hear your stories in the comments. And guess what? We're not done yet, because next, we're going to talk about how technology, yes, even for those of us who didn't grow up with it, can actually be a fantastic tool for remembering names. So stay tuned, you're going to love this. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, technology? At my age? No thanks. But hear me out. You don't need to become a computer whiz to use simple tools that can help with remembering names. In fact, your phone can be one of the best memory aids you have, if you know how to use it the right way. Let's start with photos and contacts. When you meet someone new, take a quick second to add their name and a note about them in your phone. For example, if you meet Susan from the book club, save her name with a little detail like Susan, Book Club, loves mystery novels. Even better, if it's appropriate, ask if you can take a photo together or snap a quick picture of them, with their permission, of course. Seeing their face next to their name will help your brain make the connection stronger. And here's a little secret. Voice notes are a game changer. If you're not comfortable typing, just open your phone's voice recorder and say something like, "Met Bob at the garden center today. He grows the most beautiful roses." Later, when you listen back, it'll jog your memory far better than a scribbled note. Now let's talk about social media. If your new acquaintance mentions they're on Facebook or another platform, don't be shy about sending a friendly connection request. Seeing their name pop up in your feed now and then reinforces your memory of them. Plus, you might discover shared interests that make their name even easier to remember, like, yes, Linda, the one who posts all those gorgeous travel photos. But technology isn't the only tool. Old-fashioned tricks still work wonders. For example, try linking names to physical objects. If you meet a Mr. Baker, picture him wearing a chef's hat. Mrs. Green? Imagine her dressed head to toe in emerald. The sillier the image, the more likely it is to stick. Here's another tip. Create a name bank in your home. Keep a small notebook or chalkboard in a visible spot, like the kitchen, where you jot down new names you want to remember. Glancing at it daily reinforces them in your mind. You could even make it a fun ritual. Review the names over morning coffee and challenge yourself to recall one fact about each person. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. It's okay to forget sometimes. No one expects you to be perfect. If you blank on a name, just laugh it off. My mind's taking a little vacation today. Remind me of your name again? Most people will appreciate your honesty, and the pressure you put on yourself will melt away. Before we wrap up, let me leave you with this. Your brain is capable of incredible things at any age. Every time you practice remembering a name, you're strengthening your memory muscles. It's not about never forgetting. It's about giving yourself the tools to forget less often and to recover more easily when you do. So tell me in the comments, which of these tips are you excited to try? Have you already discovered a trick that works for you? Let's learn from each other. And if this video helped you, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more ways to live your brightest life after 60. Here's to remembering more, stressing less, and enjoying every conversation along the way. After all, names are more than just words. They're connections to the people who make life rich. Keep practicing, stay patient with yourself, and celebrate every little victory. You've got this. Here's to living and remembering your best life at any age.